Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another episode of Total War Arena Battle Commentary. I've mentioned this battle so many times that I might as well just follow through on it and actually feature it in this series as well. So yes, this is the infamous battle when I have finally figured out how XP works. Although I figured it out mid-battle and there's not much time for me to actually apply that knowledge. It was just, actual realization within this battle, like, oh, so that's how it works. I mean, you can see it live on, well, not stream, on the recording from the stream highlights, where this battle and all the other battles from my streams are featured. The link to the playlist and or maybe the video will be in the top right corner right now. Why not both, actually? I'll put both. If it isn't there, as always, remind me in the comments, because, well, I'm preparing these videos, in this case, quite well in advance, because, well, once the new patch hits, all the replays will be gone, so I cannot just wait until like the topic becomes relevant and then, oh, okay, now I can just go record the replay. No, if the patch hits, all the replays are fucking gone, so I hope you understand that and excuse me for preparing some videos in advance. But a lot of you actually don't like, but well, that's the only option I have. Ask developers for backward compatible replays and then we won't have the problem. Yeah, as you can see, I split up here, and since I'm also facing other Germanicuses, I have to match their vengeance with my vengeance. And if they don't use vengeance, I have the advantage, right? But well, they have the advantage here because they have archer support, and our cavalry support is still nowhere to be seen. It is very slow, and I'm slowly getting wrecked by these archers. They're actually doing some quite significant damage to me. Well, it's still low tier, so the Roman infantry actually still cares about the damage from range units at this point. Cavalry is in here, putting some pressure, but can it find anything? It splits up, and then it arrives finally, but it's a little bit maybe too late. He still didn't find a single charge. And now he charges straight into the spears, but the spears turn around, but he charges into himself. So all the wrong decisions by all the players. Kinda funny to see. But well, now we can see and observe together with me what happens when you die. See, all that bright XP is the accumulated XP that this particular unit earned in combat, and once it's dead, it's gone. And then the only XP I actually still have is going to be this darker XP, which is kind of like a global XP. I don't know what the name of it is, but we can call it global XP, and we can use this as local XP, let's say. Alright, so this unit stays alive and it keeps its own local XP, while the other two that died have lost it. And as you can see, the local XP is roughly equal amongst these units. I think this one has slightly more than this, but it's very difficult to measure. I need to maybe get it in paint and actually count the fucking pixels in there to see if this actually is a difference or not, but it is still roughly the same, right? So maybe there are some of the factors that influence the global XP and how much each unit is getting. Maybe it has something to do with other allied units fighting around you. Maybe that goes into the local XP. I don't know. So see, even though I know like 90% of the mechanic right now, I still do have some lacks in knowledge, because some holes in the knowledge, I guess, because there's not enough for me material to get that observation really going. We need to really experiment on it, I guess, to actually find out what is going on in there. But if you know, feel free to share in the comments. Well, this battle in itself isn't really maybe that exciting. There's not that many lessons that we can pull out of this. But yeah, I wanted to feature this battle to just talk about XP, and then we can transition to the next battle and see how I will be actually able to apply this knowledge, if at all. But it's still solo Germanicus, which is something that a lot of players are always interested in. Because, yeah, under all my YouTube videos and during my streams, They're like, oh, why do you keep playing archers? And I switch from archers to cavalry. Why do you keep playing archers? Play Germanicus. Germanicus is so cool. Play Germanicus. Please play Germanicus. Play some melee infantry. Fine, I play melee infantry. But Mishu, where are archers? You like archers, right? Why don't you play archers? Yeah. You never can make everybody happy. Let's not make a double negative in there. So you can never make everybody happy. So well, this time I move Germanicus, since that is what a lot of people want to see. And hey, it's also solo, so not in party, which is, I guess, a much more relatable experience. And still, majority of the players play solo. Although in the battles I've played, I've seen a lot of parties. But well, in this particular battle, only 2 players are in a party. Everybody else is playing solo. Yeah, in this case, definitely much more relatable experience. And it also allows me to interact more with my viewers during the stream, because usually when I have someone in my party, I communicate with my party, and then occasionally with the stream in between the battles. But in a battle, we need to be focused on the battle itself, which is true for either solo or party. But when it comes to a party, I always, since I'm the party leader, party commander, I also focus a lot on coordinating our party, making sure that we work towards one common goal. And then my party members usually make sure that they don't follow my orders, so that when I play archers, I get absolutely run over and fucked up. And then they laugh at me, because it's fun for them, because they get all the fun. I just get to keep dying and dying over and over again. And then they even have more fun laughing at my tears. Oh yeah. And after an experience, join SUNTZU. Great clan. Really recommend. Yeah, Corwin seal of approval. Or you may be one of that new friend that will actually protect me, and I will very much like for that. Think about that. So well, after capturing D, we control most of the battlefield. B is being flipped though, so we are losing that. We may enter a base race. Our cavalry is going inside the base. We have another cavalry force here. But I guess I decide to go towards C, because capturing the base is quite risky so early on. Although it's... Well, I'm looking at this situation, it might just work. I mean, they have a huge camp over here. But it's mainly ranged units, and if you were to block off the entrances to the base, that might have worked. But capturing the base takes a lot of time, so it's quite risky. We have the advantage. So, also in this situation, right, when you have such an advantage, you don't have to do anything drastic to win the battle. So it's much safer to just go for the reliable way to win the battle, rather than trying to go for something as extreme as a base capture so early into the battle. But it I guess, makes other units come back. 2 melee players just put in some archers in here as well, which exposes some other archers up here, and which then the cavalry can pick off. So still, good thing that you apply the pressure. You know, it's something that the enemy cannot ignore if the base is being captured. So in this case, our cavalry also capitalizes on that thing. In the meantime, I enter here, nice melee, get to launch my vengeance, although my enemies also have vengeance, as you can see. It's just vengeance versus vengeance. I'm not going to have that big of an advantage. Plus, one of the units has rank 2 XP, so you get some more bonus stats, which then stack up with vengeance even nicer. And also, Germanicus has that unique thing that if he fights another infantry, which doesn't have vengeance, right? The vengeance is kind of like plus 2 ranks or something. Okay. I try to keep my vengeance going, but it expires right before I charge in. But for this guy, it doesn't expire, because fuck me. That's why, I guess. I tried to get a flank on him, but since I put myself in this situation, just blobbed up, because I just wanted to prolong my vengeance. I guess vengeance is still going on one of the units, but the other 2 lost it. Well, now I'm getting surrounded, so it's not looking well. Cavalry is incoming, but yeah, I'm all going to die here, and the enemy is going to stay in control of C, at least for the foreseeable future. Oh look, unprotected archers. Oh look, more unprotected archers. Oh look, cavalry hunting the unprotected archers. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that something like that may happen? Oh look, infantry player interested in capturing the base. Not interested in protecting their archers though. Oh look, more cavalry hunting the archers. Yep, that's the war arena in a nutshell at the moment. I mean, obviously, you need to capture the points. This guy is doing the right thing, right? And you can't really both cap the point and defend the archers that are over here, right? But it just requires some more common sense from both the ranged players and melee players to just, you know, stick around closer together more often. And well, that's the nature of the solo queue, where everybody just goes solo and doesn't give a fuck about his team. But you still need to, guys, remember, commanders, you commanders, need to remember that this is a team game, after all. And there we go, my units respawn. I decided to spawn at D. And this guy is just happily camping here behind his own stakes, defending the point, I guess. He could just, instead of passively protecting the point but just standing out of it, he could have just proactively protected the point like these two guys are doing, this guy and this guy. They're also preventing the enemy because they can only spawn in here and they can spawn in here. Just this guy blocks off anybody who wants to come from here. This guy blocks off anybody who comes from here. But they are going to get overwhelmed sooner or later. As you can see, they are at a huge disadvantage when it comes to numbers. So once they do, these guys will just flood in and they'll have, instead of one, let's say 6v6 fight, they'll have two 6v3 fights. So they 6v3 this guy and win easily, and they 6v3 this guy and win easily. And instead they could have fought 6v6, an equal battle. But that's just the theory. Obviously every situation is different and needs its own evaluation, but that's the general rule behind it, and because the mechanic of it, and defending stuff proactively rather than passively. Because right now this guy isn't doing anything. He would be doing something if there was actually pressure on top of it, which we also featured in one of the previous battles, the one that is about staying within the striking distance. And when I say previous battles, again, it might not be a previous battle, because this battle might be very well published before that, because I have no idea what kind of schedule I will go for. It may be well dependent on many other exterior factors that I am not aware of right now. So we'll see, but all of that will be combined in very neat playlists for both the battle commentaries, obviously, which hopefully you're in right now, and there's also a playlist for all the stream highlights, where you can watch the battles here in chronological order as they actually happened live, with my live commentary, all the memes, all the lags, all the stupid mistakes. Speaking of stupid mistakes, I mentioned that Vengeance is kind of like an equalizer. So I am level 1 or rank 1, this guy is rank 3, I have Vengeance and he doesn't, right? So his rank 3 gives him, can I actually see what? I guess not. You can see my rank 1, which is plus 11, and his rank 3, I don't know, let's say plus 30, I have no idea. But anyway, then I pop Vengeance and it's plus 50 to melee weapon damage and melee attack. Obviously this influences more because also melee defense, impact damage as well, and body armor. Right, but overall it just equalizes, and I am able to win this fight ever so slightly. But he has archers who understand good friendly fire, and they finish me off that way. They may also finish off, looks like their units will barely survive, and now those units from their team that barely survived, they'll get to go back and heal and preserve their XP. While because of the enemy using the good friendly fire meme, well, I lost my XP. But I provided some nice pressure, which allowed our team to get C back. And well, we still hold D, we still don't hold A, don't hold E, sorry. And now finally, after all those battles that we fought here, where we could have used some help, you know, these guys managed to level up in the meantime, you know, heal up back, because, well, are actually fighting close to the healing zones. And now they get to approach here. But, this guy has hacks. This guy has stakes. And fighting within stakes is super fucking broken. And I pointed that out as soon as they wanted to introduce the stakes in patch 3.1, which wouldn't deal friendly fire. Told them it's a terrible, terrible idea. They didn't listen. They went through with the change. And let's observe. Let's see. This guy has vengeance. Vengeance. No vengeance. No vengeance. So higher level vengeance infantry versus infantry. Okay, now vengeance is activated, but it was activated later. Just look at how impactful the stakes are fighting actually inside the stakes, because as they fight inside the stakes, you know, the soldiers move around. The guys in front die. The guys in the back rows go forward to take their place. And every time it happens, they impale themselves on top of the stakes and keep taking damage, keep taking damage, keep taking damage. And even though this guy has the advantage because he activated his vengeance earlier, he has higher rank, more XP, the guy who just slept for the half of it wins. Because he fought in the stakes. And you cannot do, because you either right click the stakes to destroy the stakes and don't suffer damage from them, but then the enemy just clicks on you and he gets to attack you for free. And also there's a mechanic where if you actually right click on someone you get some bonus stats, which is kind of bullshit if you ask me, but that's how the game works. I guess CA, please rethink that. Right, so either right click the stakes and avoid the damage from the stakes, but then your melee engagement just goes to shit. Or you right click the enemy unit, but then keep suffering damage from the stakes. Like, there is no right thing to do, because you cannot right click both at the same time. So maybe enable that. If there is a fight inside the stakes, make the soldiers hack down the stakes as well. I mean, they're swinging the swords around, might as well hit some stakes and destroy them in the process. So yeah, I guess this is a really nice highlight of how stakes are absolutely stupid and broken and should deal friendly fire or should be reworked, nerfed, whatever. But just do something with the stakes, because as they are right now in the game, it's absolutely unacceptable and it's disastrous. Just straight up disastrous. Hey, I got something out of this battle. I got to complain about stakes and give actually a very good example of why they are so bad. So anyway, it is being contested, so I go there to defend it, but it doesn't really matter. Our team is very, very close to winning, although we only get 1.1 point at the moment, because pretty much all the points are getting contested apart from E and A. Well, we are going to take B, I guess, soon, because it doesn't look like it is defended. Yep, it isn't. So as I go into D, I also level up and chase those rank 3 guys, but they're only tier 4, so they don't have access to vengeance. So I guess rightfully they're trying to run away from me since I have vengeance ready, although I don't know if they know that, probably no, but it is always better to assume that the enemy actually has vengeance, and you don't get an unpleasant surprise when you think he doesn't, and he actually does. Yeah, you see these Germanicus battles aren't very interesting. They're kind of slow, not much is happening. Then you enter the melee, you right click, maybe you do some flank or two, launch a vengeance or not, and then that's it. And what do I want to comment on here? It's like, okay, I right click, yes, I charge, okay, cool. Yes, I put vengeance, You see, dear commanders, why I may not be featuring Germanicus that much, and why I prefer talking about cavalry and archer and javelin man or whatever. I mean, playing it is fine. It's completely different when you play, and so it's you always have something to do. You do use the strikes, you know, you think what you need to do next, etc., etc. It's completely different. It's like playing those units is still fun, engaging, and all that stuff. It's just commenting on them isn't that exciting. But well, this is the end of the battle, so thank you all for watching. Remember to let me know in the comments down below what you have thought. Have you learned something? tell me about that XP. If there is some knowledge you could possibly share. You can also share that knowledge on a Reddit, Discord, etc, etc. Links are down in the description below. And while you're there, you can also friendly fire that subscribe button and the like button, or dislike if you didn't like it. You didn't like my Germanicus rambling? How dare I offend Germanicus? How dare I call his gameplay boring? Huh! Mystery guy. But anyway, with that said, I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields, Commanders.